Hello and welcome. Today I am going to present on the energy outlook and energy saving potential in Singapore. I am Umaira 20B4022. So let's start. Singapore, a highly developed city-state, has experienced remarkable economic growth over the past few decades, accompanied by a proportional increase in energy demand. Understanding the dynamics of energy supply and consumption is crucial for assessing its economic development and sustainability initiative. Total energy supply by sources. The total energy supply in Singapore has been predominantly reliant on imported sources due to its lack of natural resources. According to the data from the International Energy Agency (IEA), the primary sources contributing to Singapore's energy supply include oil, natural gas, and to a lesser extent, coal, biofuel, and renewables. Over the year, there has been a gradual shift towards greener and cleaner sources such as the natural gas and the renewables, reflecting global trends towards decarbonization. As you can see from the graph, we can see that the nation has been increasingly diversifying its energy sources, and oil is accounted for the majority of the Singapore's energy supply, followed by natural gas and coal. And we can also see a gradual but steady growth in the renewable energy sources. Moving on to the total energy consumption per capita of Singapore. Singapore exhibits relatively high energy consumption per capita compared to many other nations, owing to its industrialized economy as well as dense urban population. The total energy supply per capita has shown steady growth, reflecting increased urbanization, industrialization, and rising standard of living. You can see that the trend shows a gradual increase driven by the economic growth as well as urbanization. However, efforts to enhance energy efficiency have moderated the rate of growth in the recent years. Next is the total energy supply by gross domestic product (GDP). Analyzing the total energy supply in relation to the GDP, it reveals insight into the energy intensity of Singapore's economy. So over the years, you can see from the graph that the country has made strides in decoupling economic growth from energy consumption, indicating improvements in energy efficiency and productivity. Moving on to total final consumption by sources. In terms of total final consumption, Singapore's energy consumption patterns, you can see a significant reliance on oil products, which emerge as the dominant energy sources within the nation energy mix. So this reliance is primarily driven by the widespread use of oil products across various sectors, like including transportation, industry, as well as residential and commercial activities. So due to its extensive use of oil products in power generation as well and industrial processes. And for this graph is the total final consumption by sector. So examining the energy consumption by sector, it provides us into the primary areas where the energy saving measures can be implemented effectively. So industrial, residential, transportation, and commercial and public service emerge as the key sectors for energy conservation efforts. So the government policies and incentives plays a very crucial role in encouraging energy efficiency as well as fostering the adoption of renewable energy technologies across these sectors. So this, as you can see from the graph, you can see that the industrial sector stands out as the largest consumer of energy in Singapore, especially starting from 2020 up to 2021. Efforts to promote energy efficiency and conservation across all sectors can lead to a more balanced consumption pattern. Based on the imported charts from the IEA website regarding Singapore's energy supply and consumption, we can derive an overview of the country's economic development in relation to energy. Firstly, Singapore's primary energy supply is projected to grow at an average annual rate of 1.1%. This growth is driven by an increasing demand for oil and focus on renewable energy solutions like solar photovoltaic, waste incarnation, and biogas for power generation. Despite challenges like limited land availability, Singapore is keen on adopting renewable energy sources to enhance energy security. By diversifying and harnessing solar, waste, or biogas energy, the country aims to diversify the energy mix and reduce reliance on traditional fossil fuels. Next, the Singapore government has established a robust national energy policy aimed at promoting competitive energy markets, diversifying energy supply, improving energy efficiency, investing in energy research and development, and fostering regional and international cooperation. These policies are crucial for enhancing economic effectiveness, energy security, and environmental sustainability. Now let's move on to Section 2, Emission and Energy Sector. Comparing Singapore's CO2 emission per capita and the global CO2 emission per capita, we can see that Singapore has significantly higher emission than the global average throughout both periods, like 1990 and 2021. But you can also see if from Singapore there have been reduction from 1990 to 2021. This suggests maybe due to improvement in energy efficiency or adopting of cleaner technologies and policies that promote sustainable practice. Despite a reduction in Singapore's per capita emission from 1990 to 2021, the gap between the Singapore emission and the global average remains substantial. As you can see from the bar chart, Singapore has highest CO2 emission compared to the global CO2 as well as 2021. Moving on to impact on environmental pollution and sustainability, the surge in energy consumption, particularly from fossil fuel, has led to increased carbon emission, contributing to environmental pollution and climate change. So the dominance of fossil gas in the power sector and the reliance on fossil fuel has implications for air quality and environmental degradation. The shift towards renewable energy sources, while commendable, needs to be accelerated to reduce the carbon intensity of Singapore energy mix. So it is essential for long-term environmental sustainability. For the policy implications, Singapore policies and actions need to align with the global climate targets to mitigate the impacts of energy consumption on environmental pollution. By strengthening policies, it promotes renewable energy adoption, improve energy efficiency, as well as reduce carbon emission, which is crucial for enhancing sustainability and combating climate change. So the surge in energy consumption in Singapore has led to increased carbon emission, highlighting the importance of transitioning to sustainable energy practice to mitigate environmental pollution and ensure long-term sustainability. Moving on to the disaggregated indicators for energy consumption in the industrial sectors. So I would say energy intensity by industry. For example, it's the breakdown of the energy consumption by different industrial sectors, such as manufacturing, maybe chemical or food processing, to identify energy intensive industries and prioritize efforts for efficiency improvement. Next would be process energy consumption, where we analyze the energy usage in various industrial processes such as heating, cooling, drying, or chemical reaction. Next would be equipment specific energy consumption, where we can use the data on the energy consumption by its specific equipments as well as machineries, such as maybe in example boilers, furnaces, compressor pumps, or motors. A comparison of energy consumption per unit of output would be for the energy efficient benchmarking. This is where we can identify potential areas for improvement. And lastly is the renewable energy integration, where we assess the uptake of renewable energy sources like the wind, solar, biomass in industrial process to reduce reliance on fossil fuel and decrease carbon emission. For the data collection methods and the data sources, I would collect data on energy consumption in the industrial sector by analyzing electricity and fuel usage record of industrial facilities. So this data can be obtained from the National Environmental Agency and the Energy Conservation Act reports. For the emission indicator, it would be better to gather data on the carbon emission from industrial processes and the energy usage. So this information can be sourced from the Energy Conservation Act reports and the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources of Singapore. Lastly, for the environmental impact indicator, we would assess the environmental impact of the industry sector by studying waste generation, water usage, and pollution levels. So data can be obtained from the National Environmental Agency again under any relevant environmental reports. Moving on to the proposed policy for energy efficiency and environmental impact reduction, I would propose carbon pricing mechanism, basically implementing a carbon pricing mechanism such as carbon tax or cap and trade system. This is to internalize the cost of carbon emission and intensifies the emission reduction in the industrial sector. Under a carbon pricing regime, industrial facilities would be required to pay a price for the carbon dioxide emission they produce. So this creates a financial incentive for companies to invest in cleaner technologies, improve energy efficiency, and reduce emission. Moving on, I will also propose energy efficient grants and technical assistance. So basically this is like establishing a program offering grants and technical assistance to industrial facilities to support energy efficiency upgrades and improvement. So this grant could be covered a portion of the cost associated with implementing the energy saving measures such as upgrading the equipment or optimizing the processes and improving insulation. But technical assistance would be provided through every energy audit, training programs, and access to expert. So by providing this financial incentive and technical support, this policy encourages industrial facilities to invest in energy saving technologies and practices. So as a result, business can reduce their energy consumption, operating costs, as well as environmental footprint. Over time, the cumulative effect of this energy efficient improvement can lead to a significant reduction in energy. And as for the last one, I would propose industrial symbiosis and resource sharing. Basically, it facilitates the development of industrial symbiosis network where neighboring industrial facilities collaborate to share resources, waste streams, and energy sources. This policy encourages industrial facilities to identify opportunities for resource exchange, such as using waste heat or from one faculty as an input for other processes or sharing infrastructure for renewable energy generation. Government support and incentive can help catalyze this partnership and facilitates the implementation of industrial symbiosis initiative. So by promoting this industrial symbiosis and resource sharing, this policy fosters resource efficiency, waste reduction, and emission mitigation in the industrial sector. By optimizing resource use and minimizing waste, industries facilities can reduce their environmental footprint and operational costs. Additionally, collaboration between companies can spur innovation, drive economic growth, as well as enhance the overall competitiveness of Singapore industrial sector. If these policies are successfully implemented in the industry sector for over the next 20 years, energy savings up to 10 to 30% or more could be achievable from the adoption of the energy efficient technologies, depending on the pace of the policy implementations and the uptake of energy saving measures by the international facilities. I will also see an improvement in the energy efficiency that could lead to a significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions. So by investing in this technology, emission reduction of 5 to 20% or more are feasible over the next 2 decades. Energy efficient measures not only lower energy consumption, but it also reduces the operational costs for industrial facilities. So, through investment in energy saving technologies and best practices, companies can achieve substantial cost savings, potentially totaling billions of dollars over 20 years. So, yeah, energy efficiency policies will broaden environmental and public health benefits. It reduces emission and improve air quality. So prioritizing sustainability enhance the being the residents of ecosystem and general to come. Considering the demographic trends in Singapore, Singapore is experiencing a demographic shift characterized by the aging population. As life expectancy increases and birth rate decline, the proportion of elderly individuals aged 65 and above is expected to rise steadily. This demographic trend has implications for healthcare infrastructure, social services, and energy demand. Aging population typically requires more energy-intensive healthcare service, including medical facilities, assisted living accommodations, and healthcare technologies. Therefore, addressing the energy needs for healthcare sectors to be increasingly important to support the well-being of the elderly population. In tandem with the population aging, Singapore is witnessing changes in the workforce dynamic. The labor force is becoming more diversified with increasing participants from women, older workers, and foreign nationals. Additionally, technological advancement and automation are reshaping job roles and skill requirements. This shift have implications for commuting patterns, office energy usage, and industrial processes. For instance, telecommuting and flexible work arrangement may reduce energy consumption associated with commuting, while automation and digitalization may optimize energy usage in manufacturing and service sector. Looking ahead, it is predicted that Singapore's demographic landscape will continue to evolve, with the elderly population comprising a larger share of the total population. This trend will necessitate tailored energy policies to address the unique needs of older adults, such as energy-efficient healthcare facilities, age-friendly housing designs, as well as community-based support service. Furthermore, workload force are likely to drive innovation in energy-efficient technologies, digital solutions for energy management, and sustainable urban planning. In light of this democratic projection, policymakers must adopt a holistic approach to energy planning that consists the interplay between demographic factors, economic development, and environmental sustainability. Additionally, investment in research and development education and workforce training will be crucial to support innovation and ensure a skilled workforce capable of navigating future energy challenges. So let's summarize the key findings we uncovered throughout our analysis. So firstly, Singapore's energy landscape is undergoing a remarkable shift towards sustainability. We observe a noticeable increase in the adoption of renewable energy sources as well as implementation of energy efficient measures. Secondly, demographic changes plays a vital role in shaping our energy policies. Factors such as the aging population and evolving workforce dynamics significantly influence the energy consumption pattern and policy decision. Furthermore, the analysis has highlighted the concerning surge in energy consumption leading to a heightened carbon emission. This underscores the urgent need for us to prioritize sustainable energy practices and reduces our environmental footprint. Lastly, I've identified that strategic policy making is paramount for ensuring a sustainable future. By aligning our energy policies with demographic trends and environmental imperatives, we can pave the way towards a more resilient and sustainable energy ecosystem. As we conclude, let's reflect on the key takeaways of our discussion. First, it's imperative for us to understand demographic trends to make informed decisions as well as develop effective energy policies. Secondly, we must embrace adaptation, innovation, and collaboration to navigate demographic changes and address emerging energy challenges. And finally, sustainable practices are not just beneficial for economic growth and social well-being, but are essential for safeguarding our environment and ensuring a sustainable future for generations to come. That is all from me. Thank you for listening until the end. I am Umaira, 20B4022.